blow her up. I lost control. Brilliant.
Honestly, Ron, it's not funny. Harry was lucky not to be expelled.
I think I was lucky not to be arrested, actually. I still think it was brilliant.
Come on, everywhere else is full.
Who do you think that is?
Professor R.J. Lupin.
You know everything. How is it she knows everything?
It's on his suitcase, Ronald.
Oh.
Do you think he's really asleep?
Seems to be. Why?
I've got to tell you something.
Let me get this straight. Sirius Black has escaped from Azkaban to come after you.
Yeah.
But they'll catch Black, won't they? I mean, everyone's looking for him.
Sure. Except no one's ever broken out of Azkaban before, and he's a murderous, raving lunatic.
Thanks, Ron.
Why are we stopping? He can't be there yet.
What's going on?
Dunno. Maybe we've broken down.
Ouch, Ron, that was my foot.
There's something moving out there. I think someone's coming aboard.
Harry, you all right?
Thank you.
Here, eat this. It'll help. It's all right. It's chocolate.
What was that thing? Okay.
It was a Dementor, one of the guards of Azkaban. It's gone now. It was searching the train for Sirius Black. If you'll excuse me, I need to have a little word with the driver. Eat. You'll feel better.
What happened to me?
Well, you sort of went rigid. We thought maybe you were having a fit or something.
And did either of you two, pass out?
No. I felt weird, though. Like I'd never be cheerful again.
But someone was screaming. A woman.
No one was screaming, Harry.
Hey there, LEGO fans and Potterheads. I'm the lawyer in the LEGO Shed, and this is the 33rd in a series of videos I'll be making as I build my way through the magical world of LEGO Harry Potter. I've been collecting the Harry Potter LEGO line since it started back in 2001 with the release of the very first movie. And for this video series, I'll be building the sets that have been part of the more recent waves of Harry Potter LEGO, beginning in 2018 and stopping with the 2023 releases. My plan is to go in movie order, and so without further ado, let's get started. Today we're covering set number 75955, Hogwarts Express. This set depicts the iconic Scarlet steam engine that transports young witches and wizards from King's Cross Station in London to the Hogsmeade Station. In addition to the train, we also have a substantial rendition of Platform 9 3/4. For some historical context, sets based upon Hogwarts Express are easily some of the most common in the line. Not including smaller scale versions, 75955 is the fifth mini-scale version of this train released between 2021 and 2023, and 7 different minifig scaled versions have been produced by LEGO. The first was 4708, which was released in 2001 with the first wave of releases, and included a small Platform 9 3/4. This one was based upon the Golden Trio's first trip to Hogwarts, and as you can see, is definitely kind of an old school vibe to it. The second was 4758, which was released in 2004, and it included a Hogsmeade platform. This particular version was based upon the Prisoner of Azkaban, and even included a Dementor with it. That same year, LEGO also released 10132, which was a motorized version of the Hogwarts Express, and it too was based upon the Prisoner of Azkaban. This set not only included a motorized train, but it also had a decent rendition of the Hogsmeade Station. I was actually not able to get a hold of that set until well into my adulthood, but I can say that it is still one of my absolute favorite sets in the entire Harry Potter LEGO line. Then in 2010, with the reboot of the Harry Potter line, we got a fourth version in set number 4841. This one appears to be primarily based upon the Order of the Phoenix, judging by the outfits worn by the minifigs, as well as their kind of like facial components. But it also included the Weasleys flying Ford Anglia, which really only appears in relation to the Hogwarts Express during the scene in Chamber of Secrets. So this was kind of an odd choice, but this was also the first and only train to not include any physical landmarks along with it. This brings us to our current Harry Potter LEGO waves, the 2018 through 2023 waves. The train was depicted 3 different times during this window. In 76423, which was released in 2023, was based upon the final scene of Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone, and was something that was already the subject of a video for this particular series. If you want to see my new and improved version of the Hogsmeade Station, you can go check out that video. Then we had 76405, which was released in 2022. This one was the second installment of the official collector's edition sub-theme that started within the Harry Potter LEGO line. At a whopping 5,129 pieces and with 20 minifigures and an eye-watering price tag of $500, this set was truly massive and, in my opinion, unattractive. It also seems to be one of the most unlike sets in the entire Harry Potter LEGO theme. That is until recently when the Hogsmeade reboot or Ultimate Collector's version was released, but we'll cover that later. While it covered several different scenes throughout the series, starting with the very first meeting of the Golden Trio and stopping with the final scene in Deathly Hallows Part 2, where Harry and Ginny are sending off their own children to Hogwarts, I personally could never justify purchasing this set. Needless to say, we will not be covering it as part of this series, and so this is our big Hogwarts Express moment. And last but certainly not least, we've arrived at the subject of our video today, which is 75955. Released in 2018, the set has 801 pieces, 6 minifigures, 3 of which are unique to this set. This version, like several before it, is actually based upon the Prisoner of Azkaban. When looking at the overall build, we can separate it into 4 main parts: the engine, the coal tender, the passenger car, and the platform. So let's get started with the engine, and I'll just pull our train out here. Starting with the engine, we can see that there has been a move toward a slightly higher profile and a slightly shorter length. So it's kind of a little bit more squished and a little bit taller, but you can kind of see the front of it looks pretty great here with its kind of initial free moving wheels. And then along the sides here, the actual movement of the rod that would move the train wheels forward. Kind of a great little inclusion there. We also have a nice printed tile that says Hogwarts Express here on the side on a curved tile. and then some great sticker work as well on the back side of the train, as well as some of these nice pearl gold elements, as well as painted gold elements too, to kind of round out our train. They also managed to get a nice cylindrical feeling to the actual main portion of the engine itself, and have a nice little place for a conductor to stand. And you can see that I've actually grabbed the conductor from the Lego set from 2023 and threw him back there so that he's got a place to be and help run the train. He does not come with this set, but I wanted to include him in my version. As for the coal tender, we see the same thing happening with height and length. It is slightly taller, slightly shorter than the previous models that we've seen. It also still has the ability to store things inside, so you've got a nice little lifting portion here that you can put things down in, which is great. And then as far as the passenger car itself, we can immediately see that it's slightly more muted in its color scheme than previous versions, and with this, particularly with this dark tan stripe. And like the night bus from this wave, we've actually taken a slightly different approach when it comes to accessing the interior. So not only do we remove the roof to get inside, but we also have the ability to remove easily the side panel and then see the interior of where everybody's seated. We even have a nice consistency of color scheme there as to the interior seating for the Hogwarts Express. So I think this was a great decision as far as being able to easily put your minifigs in, because one thing that I remember distinctly from even being a kid and an adult was trying to get my minifigures inside of the Hogwarts Express as I was setting it up. So there is our train itself for a quick little walkthrough. I'm just going to move it to the side so that we can move in our platform. Alrighty, and here we have platform 9 3/4. While it's not exactly set up the way that it appears in the movie, there are several really charming components. The most striking is this pedestrian footbridge here, obviously, the one that gets you up and over the train. I think it just looks really impressive, and even with the little clock up here, just a way to kind of like really make this feel like a very full set. The next would be this nice little swinging door here, which is how you would access the actual area. You can push your characters through as coming from the Muggle world and then entering in to the Wizarding world so that you can then ride the train to Hogwarts. And then we have these lovely archways that are directly reminiscent of the actual architectural details in King's Cross Station itself, all looking really great. So I think overall just a really nice inclusion here that didn't necessarily need to be included when it was just the train. So some of the things that I loved, it's always nice to see when redesigns improve on the original. So for the most part, you can see that there's a very marked improvement in the Hogwarts Express set as we move forward in time, particularly with this one. We've improved on the model by giving it a more cylindrical shape, particularly of the train. I'll actually just move it in here so you can kind of see how it interacts with the footbridge, which again, looks great. They've given a more cylindrical shape to that engine. They've improved on the detailing and the realism of the wheels, including several details to make it look like it's an actual train engine, which I think is a kind of incredible choice there. And then I would say, too, there's improved access to the interior of the passenger car. That was very welcome in this set. The platform itself, as you can see from prior versions, this is definitely an upgrade. And it's glad to see them kind of focusing in on that idea that you would have a physical landmark as well. Next up, I would say, too, another element that I just really loved was the minifigs that are present in this set. We'll talk about that in a second, but I think the styling and look of these minifigs is particularly impressive, and we'll dive into that more. Some of the things that I didn't love is if we kind of just focus in on a few kind of nitpicky things, I would say that the kind of heightened version of this set, where it's a little bit taller and squatter, was not a great choice, especially when you compare it to other versions. It makes for kind of an oddly squished build in some respects, but it's not so bad that it makes it undesirable, but it is definitely something that I noticed as I was building. Another issue here, what I say, was the muted color scheme on on the passenger car, if they wanted to go with something along these lines, as far as, something that wasn't just the bright yellow of the 2010 version, they could have easily gone with gold, which I thought, that could have been a good compromise there. But I don't love the dark tan, and I don't think it really works with the rest of the build itself. The final and most persistent thing that I would say as far as the Hogwarts Express itself is that aside from their never-ending renewal, only having one passenger car. It would have been really nice to get another passenger car on this one just to help it feel a little more complete as far as the train itself goes, because the only way to do that was essentially buying another set, or if you had the ability and the time to figure out how to get a hold of them either on Bricklink or through Pick-a-Brick. One other component I would say that I didn't quite love was kind of the lack of actual functional realism for this. So in other words, there's a setup where you have this pedestrian bridge that goes over the train, but seemingly the only way to get to the Wizarding World is by going through this portion of the wall. And so on one side it would be the Muggle world, on the other side it would be the real world. I think that could have just been done differently, that they could have easily just pivoted how that swinging door functioned, and then it would have worked more effectively and realistically for how folks would get in. But aside from those nitpicky things, I think overall this is still a successful platform as well as a successful train. All right, let's move on to the minifigs themselves. We're going to start out with Harry and Ron because we've actually already seen them in a set that we have already covered. I do have Ron here with a little scabbers as well as a cart and some luggage. So I just wanted to show that really quick, that he did have that so that he can move his way through platform 9 3/4. But taking a look at Harry and Ron, we have seen these guys already in a set that we've covered from the Chamber of Secrets. This seems like an odd inclusion to have them here too in these clothes for two reasons. One, we've already seen these outfits and they're not consistent with what they're wearing in the scene. And two, they have the short legs, the ones that don't fold. So the mid-sized legs are what is going to be consistent throughout the remainder of the Prisoner of Azkaban sets. But these guys are in their short legs from Philosopher's Stone or Sorcerer's Stone and Chamber of Secrets. So kind of an odd choice to have them be here, or not just update their legs in particular so that they could sit. But yes, kind of an odd choice to have them be in these older figs included here. Next up, we've got Hermione, and she's rounding out our golden trio. She actually is wearing a uniquely printed sweater that she wears in the Prisoner of Azkaban movie, but they've also put her in those short little legs too, instead of the mid-sized legs that allow for that bend, presumptively to keep everybody the same height. But again, an odd choice to go here, since we know that the remainder of the line is going to be put in those mid-sized legs. All right. Next up, we have Professor Lupin, and unfortunately, my Lupin minifig is lost in some far-flung box somewhere with a bunch of other Hogwarts professors, so I will just show the pictures of him and note that this is his first appearance as a minifig since 2011, and a lot has changed on him. He has a new hairpiece, which looks great. He's got a new face printing, new clothes, all of which are big improvements on the previous versions. I particularly love how the clothes look disheveled and the scarring that they got across his face. I think it all comes together really effectively. So I think Lupin is a great addition to this lineup, and it's fun to see him here, especially to kind of round out our scene. Next, we have a Dementor. He is complete with a semi-transparent swirl of smoke as his legs, a tattered cape, and a great torso print here that you can see, as well as a face print. And he's got this nice black hood element, really rounding him out. They have done 3 total versions of Dementors. This is the 3rd version that they have done. And I can't get over how much of an improvement this one is. He, effectively just looks kind of ghostly and even more sinister than the other versions. They got a lot of detail into these printing components here. And this ghost piece down here was actually something that started back in 2015 with the release of a collectible minifigure Banshee and several Ninjago sets that were released that year. And I think they work really great as the Dementor instead of the little sticks that we had on some of those older versions. So definitely a great inclusion here, especially with how important the Dementor is in the scene. All right, and next up we have our trolley witch. I will note up front, she is actually, in this particular set, she's wearing the dark bluish gray legs. I have swapped her out to be wearing the red pants, as I liked the uniform a little bit better. This is the similar witch to the one that's released in the 2023 version of the Hogwarts Express, so I'll just call that out up front. But I think, again, she looks great. She's a welcome inclusion. She's a little simple in her design, but she is welcome because she is a character in the movies and someone we've never seen before. So she's definitely fun to have included here. And she also has a nice little cart here. I've taken the liberty of adding a bunch of other components to really round out the cart, as I felt the first one was a little simple. But it's nice to finally have someone walking the hall or walking the corridors of the train, selling things to the Hogwarts students. So definitely a great inclusion here. And I'll just call out that, right, my version is definitely a combination of some prior and other sets to make her the version that I like the best. All right, one final thing I'll say before we get to the overall impression is kind of a notable omission here, is one that I've already mentioned, is the conductor himself. I have obviously taken the conductor from the Hogsmeade set and included him here. I'll just show a quick picture of him to kind of make sure that we've got the full trained staff here. He would have been a nice inclusion to just really round this out, though you could get a hold of him in the next 5 years if you had stuck around and bought that other 2023 version. He also makes an appearance as well as our Trolley Witch in the Ultimate Collector's Series version you could do. All right, so that takes us to the overall impression of this set, and I would say that overall, I think this is the best version of the Hogwarts Express that they have ever released. The inclusion of a well-crafted platform 9 3/4, really a great choice there, and an updated access to the interior of the passenger car, as well as an updated design of the train, especially with regard to the wheel mechanics that have that nice movement there. Great selection of minifigures. I think all in all, it ends up just being a great decision and a great set. That said, I do think that there are elements of the train itself that were a little off. In some ways, the 2010 version of the train has it beat, particularly with regard to the shaping and the color scheme and the length. But otherwise, I think that this is a real great standout set. And then one last thing I'll call out before we end is, I'm just going to show you these on the platform. I really loved the choice with some of these sticker elements here, the official sign for platform 9 3/4, the "Have you seen this wizard" thing for a wanted sign for Sirius Black, as well as the Daily Prophet tiles, really kind of making it feel like the actual platform itself. And then this nice element here indicating King's Cross Station. So that is it for set number 75955. If you are interested in following along on this journey, please feel free to follow the account. And if there's anything else you think that I should be covering in these reviews, please feel free to drop a comment and let me know. But otherwise, thanks so much for watching and have an awesome day.